Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing the new stellar album by Heaven of Echoes called Memento Vivre.
And we all are flies upon the tapestry. Yet the same.
Hey, I have to start off with this review, and I have to give a little bit of an apology to Andreas Hack. I told him I would get a review out for this album sooner than later, but unfortunately, sooner did become later, so I do apologize, but here it is. Andreas Hack, like I said, was in a group called Frequency Drift, and he wasted little time in retooling his musical vision by releasing, in my opinion, one of 2022's finest albums under the name of Heaven of Echoes called The Indifferent Stars. If you guys haven't heard that album, go back, watch the rest of this, but remember to go back and check that album out because it is just as brilliant as this album. Now, Andreas Hack, being a German multi-instrumentalist, partners up with a tremendous vocalist by the name of Paul Sadler from a group called Spires, and the two of them joined with two Frequency Drift stalwarts in Wolfgang Ostermann on the drums and harpist Nerissa Schwartz. This crew remains intact for the 2024 offering, and the truth must be said from the beginning. This is a powerful upgrade from the already lofty standards of its predecessor. This album is comprised of 4 tracks. Memento Vivere should top many charts at the end of the year, and I'm sure it has, and it was definitely in my top 10. In fact, if I was smart enough, I would have gone back to my list and found out where it sat, but maybe I'll put it in the top of where it sat. It was definitely top 10. Great album to listen to. And I must agree that the confidence to launch a new album with 17-minute behemoth of a track should be proof enough of natural ability and talent. Unshakable confidence and boldly progressing to an entirely higher level. Non sum, non curo, will get the ball rolling with a curvaceous electronic introduction that wastes no time in handling the microphone to Sadler, who displays an uncanny ability to hit the pleasure notes with his absolutely perfect delivery. The arrangements seem embodied to transition from softer realms into raving elevation and levels of anger. Surely a proper reflection on the current social proximity of switching from a calm to rage, peaceful to hostile, caring to get to the indifferent. The roller coaster of this sonic mass of music is impression that I think is masterly constructed, maintained, and delivered. As if to underline the need to forge ahead, nevertheless, yet there is always something in mind to consider for deep thoughts before brash action, which is a gift both of these musicians have. The human condition seems to enjoy veering close to the edge, often flattering and stumbling, yet somehow dusting off the pain and standing tall once again. The consciousness in the details of this wide variance of song, of guitar and keyboard nuances, and the muscular drumming, as well as the impassioned vocals from Paul, give this a credence of beautiful sounds which kind of evoke, that's not the word, kind of envelop the anguish into a thin vapor that dissipates in a gentle breeze. This song, I don't really have another word for is either maybe it's speechless or it just really works on so many levels. And I guess it would leave me speechless, but in the sense that it is something that you kind of have to hear to understand what I'm getting at. If it doesn't leave you speechless, I keep using that word a lot, it should left you breathless, I guess, too. It should just, your mind should be blown. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the next track, Ad Infinitum, which is actually my favorite track on the album, and it wasn't even really written by the two of them. It's quite the exquisite track, and it was written by Nerissa. And this has one of those endless melodies with somewhat excruciating, celestial, painful vocals from Paul, a weeping lambnet of majestic proportions that touches the heart and the very soul. The harp suggests a profound melancholy steeped in splendor that transit into a slightly darker realm with buzzing guitars, howling background choir, and a syncopated complexity that is unheard of a lot in today's music. As the melody returns, the anguish and suffering does as well. The only thing I can say about this song is it astounded me. Great track on a great album. Then we have the murky and veiled atmosphere and the brooding 14-minute epic, It Walks Among Us. This treads new path for the group, and you do get some of these occasional, I'm not going to call them pools, but these occasional placements of velvet that barely shadows a feeling of impending doom, but more of a melancholy camouflage of a darker purpose lurking nearby, and is something, just underneath the surface, or possibly even worse, maybe betrayal somewhere. The orchestration is also underlying this helpless feeling with kind of a disturbing effect. It's definitely foreboding and frightening at times, with some just absolutely cringy, not cringy, but just kind of creepy guitars, sinister noises, and a surrendering voice to rule the spirit. The mechanical part of this song is drenched in perspiration and dread. The song is uncomfortable, but it's made, I think, for uncomfortable times. And once again, I can't say anything else except this song, like the previous two, is nothing but astonishment. In progressive circles, artists like to encompass the entire album to a meaningful finale that serves to kind of summarize the whole album, the whole feeling. And the last song, Assimilation, certainly qualifies and does this thing, and has done it in quite the most unique way. It was released as the first single from the album, which I think it was kind of come full circle now, which is kind of a neat idea. And it's not necessarily branded as an accessible song, but it does promote an optimistic comfort that contrasts the previous tracks. The grandiose melody is immediately attractive. The entire vocal is off the charts and memorable. And I'm really starting to enjoy Paul's vocals, and you should check his stuff out. He's got a new EP coming out. Make sure you check that out. And get back to this review here. Sorry, I kind of got dragged there. There's a brilliant piano in this song, some blistering guitars as well, and at the very end, where the hushed vocals remain, is absolutely stunned the way they just never far away. As a final rating this album, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it's an album I want you to check out. I'm not going to tell you to check it out. I want you to check it out. It's that good. But anyways, thanks for this quick, to the point. Hope I didn't ramble on too much on this review, but check this album out, please, guys. You will enjoy it. All right, see each other in the next video.